Okay, merci beaucoup. Well, first of all, I feel sorry that I'm unable to attend the meeting in person, but I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to provide a quick overview of the work that our project has accomplished over the past 5 years, and also to show you what we plan to focus on in the next phase. The Induced Seismicity Research Project has a national scope that we designed to study all aspects of the induced events, and this map shows the location of the project activities throughout Canada. In most cases, they are related to development of shale gas and unconventional hydrocarbon resources. In recent years, our research focused mainly in BC and Alberta, where the most number of fluid injection operations associated with the hydraulic fracturing and wastewater disposal have caused the most number of induced earthquakes in Canada. Our key achievements include first of all, a wealth of new scientific knowledge about the seismogenic process of injection-induced earthquakes, or IIE, that include more than 30 journal papers. We also developed an innovative methodology for high-resolution determination of source parameters of the IIE, especially for small and micro events and earthquake clusters that are typical the characteristics of induced events. We established the real-time monitoring for the provincial regulator and compiled comprehensive catalogs of IIE for Western Canada. We improved the regulatory framework for unconventional hydrocarbon development in Canada, and also we have received extensive media coverage on our research. Our project members include research scientists from 3 offices, and also postdocs, casual employees, graduate students, and co-op students as well. We also have a number of contractors. One unique merit worth mentioning is that we have leveraged a significant amount of external resources to help with our data analysis and research. Well, due to the time constraint, I would say that it is impossible for me to give a complete picture of all the new knowledge that we have produced during the past 5 years. So in this slide, I plan to showcase 3 most representative examples to demonstrate the scientific advances that we have made. The first example is the discovery of a new type of seismic events that appears to have unique coexistence of both high frequency and low frequency waveforms. And we name these kind of events as earthquakes characterized by hybrid frequency waveform, or EHW. Here is an example of the EHW in comparison to a typical induced earthquakes. And we can see the very different frequency content between these 2 events. We noticed that most of the EHW were observed in close proximity to injection fluids, injection points. So we interpreted the EHW as the manifestation of the transition from aseismic to seismic slip during the fault loading process. And this paper was published in Nature Communications in 2021. The second example is a case study showing the complex 3D migration and the delayed triggering of hydraulic fracturing induced events in Alberta. As shown on this particular cross-section, we have done a detailed earthquake relocation for this particular sequence, and we found that the initial stage of the induced events occurred away from the injection points with a time delay. the sequence actually go downward first toward the basement, and then migrate backwards toward the injection sites, and finally going upward toward the injection well. So this kind of a very complex 3D dimensional migration path underline the importance of the hydrogeological condition and structures near the injection sites that appears to control the location and the migration path of the injection-induced events. This paper was published in Geophysical Research Letters in 2021. And finally, this particular example here is a systematic study of the key controlling factors that governs the seismogenic potential and productivity of the injection-induced earthquakes at the resolution of individual injection paths. In this particular study, we take a machine learning approach to examine the physical relationship between more than 30,000 induced events and 15 different physical and operational factors. The schematic diagram here shall summarize the key factors incorporated in our model and how they are defined and measured. This particular study shows that the factors controlling the occurrence of induced earthquakes are somewhat different from those that controls the number of induced events, suggests that the two phenomena have fundamentally different physical mechanisms. And therefore, this paper was published in the Earth and Planetary Science Letter just earlier this year. In this slide, I showcase 3 representative examples of innovative seismological methods that we developed specifically for the study of induced earthquakes. The first one is an automatic algorithm named seismicity scanning based on navigated automatic phase picking, or SNAP for short. Our test results, and this is the logic flow of our SNAP method. The test result shows that the method can produce more than 3 times as many as high quality events comparing to the typical and widely used template matching method. Built on top of the SNAP method, we then further introduce the most advanced AI technology in computer vision to solve the most complicated earthquake sequence ever recorded. We named this new method SUGAR, meaning source untangler guided by artificial intelligence image recognition. And we have done vigorous performance tests to show that SUGAR can actually outperform even skillful human analysts and other popular seismological location methods in both the accuracy and the number of events. And this is a schematic diagram of the AI-based SUGAR algorithm. On the right-hand side, this is the third example that can automatically determine the precise focal depths for small events with poor station coverage at the epicentral area. And this is particularly important for induced seismicity research in Canada because the dense coverage of local seismic stations is not always available, and most of the induced events are very small. We named this new method depth scanning algorithm, which relies on the systematic scanning of the depth spaces from recorded seismic waveform. All these 3 papers were published in the Journal of Geophysical Research, Solid Earth. We want to emphasize an important objective of our project, that is to help the regulator improve their regulatory framework and to mitigate the seismic risk. So here I show some important contributions that we have made toward this particular objective. First, we received official acknowledgments from BC Oil and Gas Commission, now also known as BC Energy Regulator, in 2020 for successfully establishing an automatic monitoring system for small magnitude events in BC. And in 2021, BC OGC announced that all regulatory decisions on induced earthquakes in BC will be made according to the magnitude values calculated with the formula that we published in 2 of our papers. And this was announced in their industry bulletin 2021-05, and here is the example of that announcement. We also had regular monthly meetings with BC Oil and Gas Commission on issues related to the regulation of induced seismicity. As for Alberta, we have coordinated efforts with Alberta Energy Regulator to densify seismic network coverage, and also have regular meetings with Alberta Energy Regulator on issues related to their regulation of induced seismicity. I highlight a few collaboration highlights here in this slide. Over the past 5 years, we have received extensive external research resources. For example, BC Seismic Research Consortium provided annual support to us on the order of more than 150,000 each year to help us monitor the induced earthquakes in Western Canada Sedimentary Basin. We receive research grants from Geoscience BC and BC Oil and Gas Research Innovation Society to help support the targeted research of induced seismicity. With the financial support from the Innovation Solutions Canada, we were able to deploy a dense array in the Tower Lake area to study hydraulic fracture-induced events with the logistic support from the industry and the regulator. We also have very close working relationship with many universities and the industry plus the regulator to enhance the local and regional seismograph network in Western Canada. This is a map showing the permanent seismic stations that's currently deployed in the region. We also have joint research and co-authored the publications with many of our colleagues in the university. Looking forward, first of all, we would like to conduct targeted studies of the so-called red light events that are relatively large to understand the detailed physical mechanism of their seismic rupture, especially about their initiation and propagation. Those include areas like the accumulation and release of strain and stress in response to fluid injections, aseismic and seismic precursory signals before the main rupture, and the competing and trade-off effects among natural and operational controlling factors. We also want to develop more quantitative and proactive models to improve the regulatory framework, and specifically about the traffic light protocol currently used by both BCER and AER. We like to develop close synergy with other NRCan and the GSC research programs on the assessment and mitigation of seismic risk. Specifically, we will work closely with the new geoenergy program on induced seismic risk associated with CCUS, and also with the newly established natural hazard and climate change geoscience program on earthquake source characterization and the seismogenic process. So this is my contact information, and I thank you for your attention.